Now that we've described displacement and time, I want to go into describing kinematic equations, but even before that, we need to produce some axiomatic equations for this initial velocity. So when we talk about axiomatic equations, we're speaking about equations that are taken without proof. Of course, we can do some measurements and these types of things, but we're going to take these without proof. The first axiomatic equation is going to be this. It's going to be the average velocity in x, and it is a vector. Equals to the displacement in the x direction over t. This is going to be our first equation. Our second equation is going to be based on statistics. So we're going to write something very similar. It's going to be our average velocity equals to the initial velocity in the x direction plus the final velocity in the x direction divided by 2. Okay, so we just basically have two velocities, and so we divide them by 2. And our last axiomatic equation is going to be constant acceleration in the x direction, and it just equals to the final velocity in the x direction minus the initial velocity in the x direction over time. So we're going to use these three equations to build our kinematic equations in the x direction.